The most powerful story of this is that story of the prodigal son, which, when you keep reading the story, is not actually about the younger brother, is it? It's really about the older brother. In fact, the whole sequence of Luke 15 is a story of 3 things that are lost. And Jesus is driving the point home with each story because the ratios of lostness keep escalating. What's the first story he told? 100 sheep, and 1 is lost. That's 1%. Then he tells a story of a woman who had 1 lost coin out of 10. That's 10%. Some of you are like, I was hoping to not do math on Sunday. Then he tells a story of 2 sons, and you're like, okay, 1 is lost, 50%. And by the time you get to the end of the story, you recognize that actually both sons have left the house. The older son left the house too. He refused to join in on the party. And actually, the father goes out to meet both sons. Do you think Jesus is trying to get the attention of the religious snobs of his day and to say to them, you don't think you're lost, do you? You don't think you needed grace, do you? You're looking at the Gentiles, and you're looking at the heathens, and you're looking at the unfaithful Jews, and you're saying, oh, that's the 1%. We're with the 99. And then he tells the next story, and you're like, still, 10%. Okay, fine, 10% of our people are lost, but 90 are not. Then he gets to the story of the 50%. Okay, fine. And then he gets to the end of the story, and you're like, oh, I think he means we're all lost. I think he means whether you're Jew or Gentile, older brother, younger brother, religious or rebellious, we were all desperate for the Father's grace. And we had all left the house. And when the father goes out to the older brother, watch the language here because language matters in these biblical stories. The older brother says, this son of yours squandered, he says it, this son of yours. And the father, this is what the father does. He says, no, this brother of yours. Have you ever noticed that in the story? The older son says, this son of yours. In other words, I will not associate myself with him. I deny my relatedness to him. It's your son. And the father says, no, it's your brother. You see, here's the thing, church. There's only one table at the Father's house. And if you want the feast, you got to also have the family. If you want the feast, you got to also take the family. So there's no such thing as being a Christian and saying, well, I don't want to have anything to do. Those people of yours, God, fine. You know. And God's like, there's only one table at my house. And if you want the feast, you're going to have to say yes to the family. Would you bow your heads this morning?